Hello, everybody. Welcome to the ASS podcast. ASS, that stands for the Animation Success Stories. I almost forgot for a second. The Animation Success Stories podcast. This is a podcast where several animation industry professionals, including myself, talk to somebody in the animation industry, and we kind of find out their story, how they got to where they are now, their humble beginnings, the struggles that they had to go through, the hurdles they had to jump, the shit they had to swim through to get to where they are now, in thriving in the animation industry. Okay, yeah. Well, my name's Anthony, and I am one of the three hosts here on the Animation Success Story podcast. I'll throw it over to my other host.
I'm Sabrina. Hello.
My name's Brian Newton.
Super excited to be here.
Always.
Cool. And today we have Erica Keys on the podcast. Erica Hayes, sorry. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I'm working with an Erica Keys right now.
You haven't been drinking
I apologize.
yet
I haven't been. I'm sorry.
I think that's why we're all like,
Should we edit
Super
that and do it
excited.
again?
No.
I think we
That's
should.
funnier.
why do you do these questions?
That's funnier. Yeah. No, let's
Okay,
keep it.
fine. Okay, sure.
Introduce Erica.
Today we have Erica Hayes on the podcast. She is a storyboard artist. She worked with all of us on Rick and Morty season 3. She also worked on many other awesome shows, such as right now she's on Little Big Awesome. She worked on with Brian.
Brian's my director.
Brian is Erica's director.
Oh, man.
She worked on Future Worm, on the Croods, on Randy Cunningham. What was the full name of that show?
Randy Cunningham, ninth grade ninja.
Ninth Grade Ninja. It's a pretty cool show.
People say the whole thing every time.
I don't.
Okay.
And her favorite show to work on was Dad Boner, so we heard. No, I'm joking. It wasn't her favorite. But I think it was a...
I know some people on Dad Boner because
Yeah.
I know everybody.
We'll get into
I
Dad
know some
Boner
dad
later, I promise.
boners.
Yeah. Well, we'll dive into questions that we have for her, and we'll dive into questions that you guys have for her right after the intro. So here it is. Hey guys, welcome back to the Ass Podcast, where we learn about the struggles and trials and tribulations of animation industry professionals and how they got to where they are right now. Today we're talking to Erica Hayes about how she got to where she is now. She's an incredible storyboard artist. We all worked with her, like I said earlier, on Rick and Morty season 3. And like we usually start off these podcasts, we usually ask, what drew you to the animation industry in the first place?
I see what you did there.
First memory.
Yeah, so what made you want to get started in the animation industry?
Disney.
Disney?
Yeah.
Cool.
What
So
movie?
I was a 90s child, so all of the Disney Renaissance made me want to be in animation. Well, I didn't find out you could do it as a career till like 8th grade.
So what was your like Sabrina said? What was your like one big movie that was like, oh man, I want to work in cartoons. This movie's amazing.
Or just your favorite Disney movie?
God,
Was there one big one, or was it just?
I
all
feel like
Disney
I
in
was such
general?
a fickle child because every new Disney movie that came out was my favorite. I was like, oh, now it's Pocahontas. Now it's Mulan.
Going through
Now
phases.
it's Beauty and the Beast. Now
Sure.
it's The Lion King. Yeah.
Nice.
I don't know. I mean, they're all kind of my favorite.
Okay, you didn't
For
hurt
sure,
anyone's
yeah.
feelings there.
I
Yeah.
did not know you were a Disney child.
Really?
I didn't
Yeah.
either.
Guys.
Do you have a lot of like
New thing.
Disney memorabilia and whatnot? Like growing up, did you have like a bunch of Lion King stuffed animals or like princess dolls or anything like that?
Yes. I had, I think I had Belle and I think I had Jasmine Barbies.
Nice.
I had Beauty and the Beast bedding. What else did I have?
Halloween costumes?
Mm.
Yes, I was Jasmine for Halloween one year.
There you
Nice.
go.
That's pretty cool.
I had like Chip, the little cup
Yeah,
from
little
Beauty
cup
and
with
the
chip
Beast.
out of his head.
Oh, they're like
One of her-
collector's
yeah.
items now.
Do you ever notice that
I had that.
he's like one of 40 of her children, and she just neglects the rest of them? They're all in the
Yes.
cabinet. What is the deal with that?
Chip's a special one.
Yeah.
Chip is special.
He's the broken one. When he turned into a human, he had a giant scar on his face. No one ever know. No, I'm not really.
What?
I've seen a meme of that recently where like his brain's exposed.
Oh, okay. I
When he
know.
turned
I just
human.
made that up. I didn't
Oh,
know that was a
God.
meme. That's pretty gross.
His brain just falls out.
Yeah. Oh, poor Chip. Okay, so
Still Disney?
Zombie Disney. When did you discover that you could draw, Erica? When was it like, oh man, I'm really good at art?
I always loved drawing. Always, like forever.
Mhm.
And my parents, and especially like my grandparents, were like super encouraging
Cool.
of my art. I would be watching like a cartoon at my grandma's house, and then I would stop halfway and run to the table with crayons and like try to draw the characters or whatever. And so I don't know. I it's like ever since I can remember, I've been drawing, and I was art class was always my favorite class all
Cool.
throughout.
Did
school.
you doodle in the corners of your test and stuff?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
think
I got
we
in so
are.
I'm sure
much
everybody-
trouble.
yeah. I did the same thing. I was known
But
in 8th grade for drawing
You
on the
were
back
one of
of
the
every
best
test
artists
paper.
in your class all the time. Am I right? Is that how it went?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I won some like school student awards when we would have like competition and things like
Or
that.
people always wanted you in your group projects and stuff whenever
If there
they
was
had-
art involved,
Yeah.
yeah.
Erica, come on.
But this is also why it's important to keep the arts. Fuck Trump.
Nice segue. The rest of our podcast will be a political podcast.
I'm trying not.
Yeah.
I think we can all agree on that. Cool.
Yeah,
So throughout, obviously, elementary school, high school, you loved drawing. When did you decide you definitely wanted to make it a career path? You said, I want to do this. I want to make money from doing this. This is going to be my life.
So around 8th grade, I discovered that animation was an actual viable career.
How
And I
did
was
you
like-
discover that?
I don't remember. Someone was bringing it up, or like I saw it on TV, maybe a TV special behind the scenes kind of thing. I don't know, where it was like maybe covering animators, and I was like, that's what I want to do. That's it.
Yeah.
So throughout high school, that was like kind of my goal, was to go to an art school and major in animation, even though that ended up changing because I realized I didn't want to be an animator.
That's
We all
interesting.
go,
Actually.
no, not that.
So what you ended up wanting to be an animator at first, then you decided you don't want to animate.
Yeah, so I went to Columbia College in Chicago for my first year of college and majored in animation and started taking 2D animation courses. And I liked it, but once I realized that animators have very little creative control, I was kind of like, oh, that's not what I want to do, especially because they work so hard.
Yeah.
They work so hard, and they have like I won't say no, but they have little creative control for the finished product.
Definitely
Yeah.
depends on the project.
Yeah,
For
yeah.
sure.
But
that makes
in
sense.
particular, like TV animation,
Yeah.
you know.
They're basically just following the boards verbatim a lot of times
Right.
in TV animation.
right.
So they don't have too much creative freedom.
And they definitely like embellish and improve the acting and improve a lot of things. But once I realized storyboarding was a thing, like the step before, I was like, oh, that's what I want to do. Because not
Ooh.
only do you have to do less,
Yeah.
you get to do it faster.
Yeah.
Well-
And you're like kind of choosing the acting and the shots and the compositions and
have a
everything,
lot of
all
creative
of the
control.
good juicy stuff.
Yeah.
The juicy stuff.
Well,
Cool, man.
That's the thing, because like as storyboard artists, because the two of us are storyboard artists technically for sure, is that like we like when they think about like the scenes they see and the emotion they see behind the characters and like how characters interact with each other, that's what the storyboard artist does.
Yes.
Yeah, and so we convey that to the animator / character artist, so that when they'll clean up our crappy drawings and make
Right.
it something like beautiful and unique.
They'll beautify it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sometimes they're not even crappy. Sometimes they're just amazing. I'm like, oh my god, this is already
For
clean.
sure.
What are we doing?
Definitely depends
Oh,
on the
yeah.
artist for that.
I've
Yeah.
seen many great
Dude.
storyboard artists. So.
The show I'm working on now is I mean the designers just basically clean the boards up slightly to do the designs. They're so good.
Definitely economical too.
Yeah, for sure.
It depends how much time you have. If you have a lot of time to clean up, then you can really beautify it. Otherwise, you're just kind of banging it out.
Yeah. So you said you were your first year at Columbia in Chicago was animation. What happened after that?
After that, I kind of veered off for a little while. I went to a community college near my house. Since I didn't
No plug for that college.
Moraine Valley Community College in Palos Hills,
Shout
Illinois.
out.
Yeah, so I was a little like lost for a while. I was like, I don't know, animation wasn't for me. Maybe I'll dabble in writing. Maybe I'll dabble in acting. So I kind of like messed around with community college. And then I was like, no, this isn't for me. So I started looking into art schools again, and I was like, well, let's see what else is out there. Let's see what majors are out there and see if there's anything that could like focus more on the storyboarding aspect of things. And I discovered that SCAD, the Savannah College of Art and Design in Georgia, offered a major in sequential art.
Sequential art. That's something I'm not familiar with. What is that?
Basically
mean?
just storytelling, essentially.
It's just the art of storytelling in a sequential manner. So they cover comic books, they cover children's books, they cover storyboarding.
Oh, sick.
They touch on all of it. And it's so you're learning cinematography, you're learning the art of comic like panels and layout and all of that, and you're also learning color. I mean, it touches kind of on everything a little bit. Figure drawing.
Have their fancy names for the programs or something. Yeah. But at the end of the day, it's like you can either do comic books or animation,
What was the name of the major again?
Sequential art.
Sequential art.
That's interesting.
Cool.
Yes. And I was like, it was just like a light bulb went off. I was like, that's it. That's for me.
Cool.
And so I ended up transferring to SCAD.
SCAD?
SCAD is a good college from what I hear, so.
And
yeah.
You
out there.
Yeah, look it up, guys. SCAD.
Yeah. SCAD's great. I'm actually going to be there next week giving a talk.
Nice.
So this is like practice.
This is a good warm-up for the talk. Yes. Nice.
Hope if you're in town, if you're around, go see Erica.
Yeah.
If this is
You're a
released in
student.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't watch this. You'll hear all of it again.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Thank you guys for joining us on the, what is this, the fourth episode of the Ass Podcast. We had the wonderful Erica Hayes today. I got her name right this time. Yay.
Hayes. Nice.
We learned all about her, humble beginnings, loving Disney movies, watching Pocahontas and Mulan. Mulan, my favorite Disney princess, by the way.
I don't even remember her mentioning
Hardcore.
Mulan, but okay.
She did. She said Mulan.
I think
Yeah,
it
she
is.
did.
She did. She
Yeah.
said
All of
Pocahontas
them.
and
I will
Mulan.
say I loved all animation as a
I
child,
remember
but
Chip.
Disney was like the thing.
Mulan, great art book and great villain.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Oh,
He's a
yeah.
good villain.
For sure, yeah. And we she's been through struggles just like everyone else. She even had that, I think you said after your first year in Chicago, you kind of had...
Yeah,
like
I
you
got
had
a
like
little
an
lost
off
and
year.
yeah.
So it
She
happens
was
to
a
everybody.
local, guys.
And now she's killing it out here as the best storyboardist in LA. Sorry, Brian.
I'm glad to be working with
That is
Yo,
high praise.
Seriously, I'm glad to be working with her.
Brian's
Because,
Oh,
like,
thanks, Brian.
I'm so glad. I'm like, oh, Erica's on my team? Yes.
Let's close with Brian's words of wisdom.
Oh, okay. Well, it's closing with Brian's words of wisdom.
Don't be a dick. Keep your contacts, and that's 90% of the battle for work.
That's it,
Brian's
guys.
words of wisdom, everybody.
Thanks for joining us, guys, and thank you,
Thank
Erica. We'll see you guys next
Thank you,
time
Nick.
in the ass. You little toots, you. Goodbye,
Little
everybody.
toots.
See ya.